even for Conor, the level change.
Yep, Conor
to
took
save
the outside leg up bad.
No, man, you can't sit out here.
Man.
Several years ago, two legendary lightweight fighters, Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor, had their first fight against each other, with McGregor coming out on top. Sometime in July this year, the world is going to witness these same two legendary lightweight fighters, Poirier and McGregor, cross fists for the third time. There's plenty to look forward to as we anticipate the fight itself and its outcome thereafter. Several people, professionals and otherwise, have all come up with their predictions for this long-awaited fight. In this video, we're going to share some predictions for the third McGregor vs. Poirier fight. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well so you don't miss out on any updates. Set to complete their trilogy on July 10th at T-Mobile Arena, Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier will be going head-to-head for the third time as the UFC 264 lightweight main event. There's plenty at stake in this one fight for both parties as the world gears up to see both fighters in action. For both McGregor and Poirier, the two opponents have different things on the line depending on whether they lose the game. For Poirier, his decision to complete this infamous trilogy means that he's passed up his chance to battle it out for the title left vacant by Khabib Nurmagomedov. The first time the formidable pair ever crossed fists was in 2014, with McGregor defeating Poirier at featherweight with a first-round knockout. McGregor went on to become UFC's first active two-division champion, while Poirier did a little leveling up of his own. The Diamond went on to win 9 of his next 10 fights, allowing him to emerge as one of the world's best lightweight champions. Poirier also has 2 wins of the legendary Max Holloway, a former featherweight champion who came for the interim title in April 2019. Earlier this year, Poirier avenged the premature KO he suffered at McGregor's hands by succeeding in defeating him in their second round in the second fight between the two. This was McGregor's first time losing via knockout in his MMA career. The July 10th fight between Poirier and McGregor is even more anticipated, as its outcome and who emerges as the winner determines who will fight against UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira. Interestingly, both McGregor and Poirier have locked horns with their recently retired colleague Nurmagomedov, making him one of the best points of view to predicting what the outcome of the fight could be. Nurmagomedov, who stepped back from the profession just last year, has notoriously had a standing rivalry with McGregor. Their fight, UFC 229, happened in October 2018, with Nurmagomedov emerging as the victor to retain his UFC lightweight title. UFC 242 between Nurmagomedov and Poirier in September 2019 ended with a submission from Poirier in the third round, the same year Poirier conquered Holloway. On the other hand, Poirier has held the interim belt in the past, but he's now ready to risk it all for a chance at being the undisputed champion. Many claim that McGregor is possibly the biggest star that the promotion has ever employed. However, this status of mythical legendaries has been shaky in recent times as the Irishman has suffered losses in 3 of his last 6 fights, with one of those being at the hands of the fighter he hopes to fight on July 10th. This fight will be his first attempt at winning over an elite opponent since he defeated Eddie Alvarez back in 2016. The Notorious certainly has a point to prove, as it's most important for him to prove the critics wrong after they've insinuated that he lost his spark, mostly due to the wealth that he's accumulated. Seeing as he's fought and defeated them both, Nurmagomedov has made his own predictions rather publicly. According to the Russian MMA fighter, he believes that his predictions for this next match are going to be the same as the one he made earlier this year when Poirier and McGregor were preparing to take each other on for the second time. Nurmagomedov revealed that he sincerely thinks McGregor strikes best in the first round, as the trash-talking Irishman is known for being a dangerous fighter in the opening round of any fight against any opponent in their division. This especially seems to stand true as a majority of McGregor's wins have been in the first round, including his fight with Poirier in which he had a knockout in less than 2 minutes. The Eagle also believes that all Poirier has to do is survive McGregor in the first round and push forward into the second round, where he'll stand a chance at winning. Regardless of the final outcome of the fight, Nurmagomedov believes that McGregor will win the first round. UFC legend George St. Pierre and his coach Firas Zahabi also chipped in on what the outcome of this long-awaited fight could be. This time, both experts are on opposite sides with what they think is going to be the winner. For St. Pierre, the Diamond is in for a beating, as he believes McGregor is great at rematches and making a comeback. With that in mind, the Canadian fighter thinks McGregor will get his victory sometime in the second round of his fight. On the other end of the rope is Zahabi, who admitted that his first pick was at 50-50 odds. However, listening to St. Pierre's take, he decided to sway towards Poirier's side and make a case for him. At McGregor's 155 pounds, Zahabi also thinks that he may not be as powerful as he used to be, while considering the fact that he's got to do 5 rounds. With Poirier's win earlier this year, it's clear that the former interim champion is smart enough to know that it's easier to take this particular opponent in the later rounds, a point of view that Nurmagomedov also shared. Zahabi's advice to Poirier is to be more aware of that left hand, as he is possibly more mentally ready than his would-be opponent. Unlike Nurmagomedov's second-round win in favor of Poirier, Zahabi is convinced the Diamond will take out McGregor in the third round with an unshakable knockout. To achieve that, Poirier is going to have to take out McGregor's legs as fast as he can with the kicks, before going all in with his hands and eventually giving him that KO. Renowned MMA analyst Ian Parker has also studied the odds from all the available angles, giving him the chance to make his own predictions on who will emerge as the victor to face Oliveira. Parker is counting on McGregor using his karate-style striking to secure that unchallengeable win. This style played a fundamental role in the first fight of the trilogy, when he used traditional karate footwork to continually bounce forward and backward, efficiently helping him to avoid kicks to his low calf. These kicks made an appearance from Poirier eventually in the second fight, as McGregor's stance ended up giving way to poor checking. The notorious fighter is typically seen using a conventional boxing stance, even with his second fight against Poirier this year. That is, one of his shoulders leaned forward so that he could catch Poirier with his own counterpunches. While this stance can serve its purposes, it also comes at great cost, which is his free movement and continuously bouncing back and forth, a feature attributed to his karate stance. Even more important is McGregor's seemingly lack of grappling skills. During the second fight, even though he was able to reverse positions when Poirier took him down, his hold on Poirier had little effect. On the other hand, this is a skill that Poirier has significantly improved over the past couple of years while upping his fighting prowess, particularly after he lost to Nurmagomedov. Also, Poirier might have the upper hand against McGregor, as he has remained active with more recent cage time and experience. His would-be opponent was out of the game for nearly 3 years and thus runs the risk of having ring rust. With this factor, Conor would need to put in the extra work to shake it off. He's expected to be working hard around the club to see that he's back in top form to perform. While the predictions continue to roll in, welterweight champ Kamaru Usman has revealed that he's rooting for Poirier and believes he will come out of the fight with his hand raised as the winner. Tyson Fury is rooting for McGregor all the way, despite admitting that his opponent has a good winning streak behind him and that defeating him will not be easy for McGregor. Poirier has only suffered 1 defeat in his last 7 fights, with that singular loss being in his 2019 fight with Nurmagomedov. Among the boatload of predictions is UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping, with his 2 cents on the fight to come. Despite admitting that both fighters have tremendous skill, momentum and recent wins have him leaning towards Poirier. Still, he does not want to make the mistake of underestimating McGregor and his apparent hunger to regain his reputation, which has been shaken by talk of him getting carried away by his continuously growing wealth. This quest to silence the critics and naysayers makes a huge part of the backdrop carefully crafted just for this blockbuster UFC trilogy. One could even go as far as saying that McGregor's career and legacy of being one of UFC's best are on the line. This incredible fight between McGregor and Poirier that everyone seems to be waiting on is only one of the 5 on the main card of UFC 264. The other fights that have been scheduled so far are Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson for the welterweight division, Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy for the heavyweight division, Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya for the women's bantamweight division, and Sean O'Malley versus Louis Smolka for the bantamweight division. This fight and the trilogy itself are said to be the most anticipated in combat sports. The fighters themselves can't wait, and we fans are perched at the edges of our seats, waiting to see what transpires in the octagon on July 10th. It's going to be incredible. We've come to the end of this video. Take to the comments section below and tell us what you think of the fight to come. What are your predictions? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. See you real soon, and thanks for watching.